Hello everyone, my name is Ron. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to put a D&P Performance cover vent on the spark plug cover of our Arctic Cat Wildcat trail. So the first thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to remove our Kimpex box out of the machine. It's 4 socket head bolts, not a big deal. Alright, so this is the vent cover. On the top half you can probably see there's little tabs that slide in here that lock the vent in place, and then on the bottom there's these screws. I will warn you that if you haven't pulled these out in a while, there's a good chance they're just going to strip. I'm not sure that these aren't going to strip on me. They've been in there approximately a year and a half, I think. So, you know, all bets are off. The originals, when I removed this the first time to try out this vent system, they did strip on me. I wound up drilling them out. I don't remember what size bit, but just take your time, be careful, and drill them out. Go get new ones. They're inexpensive. I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over these things. They're just plastic. So anyway, this is what happens to me. I don't know. These things are just about useless. This one hasn't quite stripped out yet, but it's on its way. It just turns circles. So let's take a moment to talk about what my original venting plan for this cover here. Originally I used frog skins products, and I'm not quite sure what happened here. As you can see, I have them on the top edge also, and those seem to have held up all right, but this one, for whatever reason, it just didn't stick in this corner. So I personally want to call it bad glue. This was actually a brand new plastic cover that I cut apart to make sure there was nothing, no dirt or anything of that matter on the cover. And before I applied these stick-on vents, I cleaned them off with alcohol and, you know, everything you would typically do when you're applying any kind of adhesive. So there's no real reason that I can think of for why it failed. So probably, like I say, the conditions of the engine heat output with maybe some bad glue. So it happens. But in any case, so alright, well, I was hoping this would be a easier, faster process. I was wrong. So we're gonna have to drill out those plastic pieces, and then we'll have to go to the Arctic Cat dealer and get 2 more garbage tier plastic screws. So we got ourselves some, they call them plastic rivets. This time I bought some spares, so I'll have some to keep around the shop, which is nice, I guess. If you are in need of these for future reference, the part number is 0423-535. So you take that number and input it into wherever you're gonna input it, and it should come up with these little rivets. So anyway, we're done with that part. Now we gotta go figure out how we're going to cut the plastic out of our vent cover. So, and then just to give you an idea, with the cover removed, there you can see the top of your engine, and then your two spark plugs are there and there. So that's it. So, and the objective of these vents is just to remove some of the heat coming off the motor and let it vent naturally. So that's the mission. All right, so I think my current plan for transferring where roughly I need to cut to go into the plastic is going to go like this. I have and I don't know if I can fit myself and it in the frame here, but I cut out their cutout, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the ends once I get it, centered where I want it, hopefully. And then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and cut the center out, and I'm hoping the process of doing that will also leave at least a decent cut mark into the plastic, so that I can follow that with a jigsaw going forward. I don't know, we'll see. I'm probably not going to record that. I'm probably not going to record the jigsaw portion because I'm sure you guys don't really care, and I haven't used a jigsaw before, so hopefully I don't destroy everything in the process. But if I do, I don't know if you guys will even know, because I probably just won't post it. But I do have another cover, so not the end of the world either way. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. All right, so just kind of a little update. Using that pattern, what's left of it over there, in cutting the center out with an X-Acto knife, did work, as you can see. Hopefully I'm in focus. It's kind of hard to tell, but it did leave an impression as I hoped it would. So hopefully I'll be able to follow this with a jigsaw and get it cut out, and then we can start the process of fitting the actual aluminum piece onto the plastic. All right, so this is where we're at. I wouldn't say it's found its final form yet, but as you can see, I have cut roughly the dimensions I needed to out of it. I tried several methods. The first thing I did was C-clamped this to a piece of wood that you probably saw me working on earlier. It really didn't hold it tight enough, so ultimately I chose to put this in a vise, like you see, with kind of prevent damaging anything very much. I put your typical red work rag in the vise jaws, and then the biggest suggestion I can give you is to take your time. As you can see, there's little spots, such as the bottom here, that I'll probably try and finish off by hand, and then either I'm gonna go pick up a deburring tool tomorrow, or else I don't know, I can probably hit this with a nice file and get it cleaned up, and then I'll start getting the aluminum place and riveting it on, and then hopefully we'll be done. Okay, so when I last left off, I had finished cutting out our shape for our vent. It's not perfect. Comparing the actual vent to the paper cutout that they send you to trim it to, it seems kind of obvious that it's not going to be. I don't think I'm going to manipulate it any further though. I mean, not many people are really going to see it, notice it, or even care. So I think I'm just going to call it done as far as trimming out the plastic. I have off camera taken a utility knife and gone around and kind of deburred it and smoothed out the lines. So our next step is going to be figuring out where exactly we're going to line up our vent onto the plastic. And to do that, obviously we'll be using the vent, we'll be using the plastic, and I'm probably going to use this paint marker. And when I get it centered where I'm happy, I'll dab this center hole, if you can see it. Yep, the center hole, and I'm just going to kind of try and true it up from there. So the way I'm hoping to base this off of for truing it up for these purposes is the moon-shaped cutouts here. I'm going to try and line those up to be as even spacing as I can, and I think that's going to be the basis for my alignment. So there's our mark. So here's our finished product. Looks pretty good. So the back side with the rivets, I don't know if it's focusing, it's probably focusing on me. So you can see the rivets pass through, and there's a little washer that is on the unseen side. I'll bring this closer to the camera, whether it's focusing or not I don't know, but there are spots obviously right along in here where you can see the plastic trimming. Could I have cleaned that up a little bit more? Sure, but you know, the reality of it is this is not going into space. It's not a rocket ship. The honest truth is, once this gets put in place on the machine and then the box goes on it, unless you're looking for it, you're probably not going to see it. So kind of a shame, but it you know, the purpose of this is the vent heat, not be the crowning achievement of this machine, right? So that said, obviously it is pass-through. It is not waterproof by any stretch of the imagination, which you should be able to figure out considering my finger passes through it, right? So if that's a problem for you, my suggestion would be to if you want to use this product, I would still use it. And then there's a company called Outerwears. They make a liner that goes over like air filters to be a kind of a moisture barrier, water resistant cover. They make shock covers, kind of like what are on my those are outerwears on my my Arctic Cat 700 H1. Anyway, Outerwears makes a water resistant product that you can buy in lengths. I don't know what lengths those are, but in any case, I imagine, you know, not tested, just saying, I imagine a guy, if they wanted to, could take and cut some of that material and then sandwich it between the spark plug cover and this vent that you just cut out and created. So that would make it a more water resistant piece that could go on your machine. So my first impressions of the D&P cover vent, and you know, take this with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary, of course, but you know, without, I'm not wearing a helmet. Helmets aren't required in a UTV for an adult in the state of Wisconsin. So going with that in mind, I feel like the engine noise might be a little bit more, might be a little bit louder under acceleration specifically. I actually don't think idle is that bad. I'm not using a decibel meter or anything to determine that. That's just my own hearing and my own perception of what's going on here. That said, the decrease in heat coming into the cab of the machine is actually pretty significant. There is, I don't know, it's 75 degrees out right now. This is probably the warmest, you know, at least in the foreseeable future, that we're going to have for a September day, mid-September day. So I wanted to get this done now, because it kind of, you know, might be hard for me to judge otherwise. So, my personal opinion on this product is, while it does give you more engine noise, I think the decrease in heat coming into the cab outweighs, you know, the downsides to the engine noise. That's just my opinion. I feel like if a guy wanted to try and reduce the engine sound, albeit very little, you know, someone could take and sandwich that outerwears material in between the aluminum vent and the plastic, and that would probably diffuse some of the sound from the motor. You know, obviously it's not going to be at the same level of the plastic being, you know, whole in one piece, no material removed, but it might diffuse a little. I don't know. You know, I haven't tried that here, so Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But you know what? If the sound bothers you, it might be worth a shot. So, but anyway, so that's that. I'm going to mount it on the machine now, and that's kind of the end of this video. So if you end up getting one of these, I'd love to hear your findings with it. If this video was helpful, kindly hit the like button and maybe shoot me a comment. And finally, if you want to see more content from me, please hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.